What is going on, peeps? It's time to discover the Vietnam Dong. As usual, we know when we're talking about the Vietnam Dong, it is not the same situation that the Iraqi dinar is in. Okay, so let's get into that. By the way, isn't she such a cutie? She is. Okay, so anyways, let me just get the unpleasantries out of the way. I am not an attorney, a tax advisor, or a financial advisor. Please consult with real professionals. The following is my own opinion and my opinion only, based on my own research. I will share the information I find with you and encourage you to read and listen to it to inform your own opinion. Okay? All right. And at the end of the video, if you don't mind, please like, share, and subscribe because it helps out the channel and keeps it free. So I hope you will join us. If you don't mind, join us and subscribe. It's really a fast-growing channel, and I really do appreciate it. It keeps it free. Pimpy's Investment Chat. This is a group on Facebook that is the same as my YouTube channel. I will leave a link in the description and encourage you to come join us. It's free to join, so please come do so. In here, we talk about all kinds of things from the Iraqi dinar to the Vietnam Dong, as well as gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, which seem to be on a tear as of late. I still think it has a lot to do with the Bitcoin halving, so we'll see what's going on. As usual, look, we find other things that really the revenue went up in the first quarter in Vietnam. We talked about this. Despite the coronavirus, there are a lot of different industries. Some took hits. Let's just be honest. Some areas took hits, but a vast majority of the overall economy for Vietnam did really good. So Vinamilk revenue was up 7.3% in quarter one, which makes sense to me because if you're stuck at home, the odds are you're likely to consume more food. So Vietnam Dairy Products Joint Stock Company, Vinamilk, still enjoyed success during the first quarter of this year despite the Rona. The dairy firm recorded a revenue of 14.5 trillion, and that is the Vietnam Dong, which is equivalent to 602.1 million US dollars, a year-to-year increase of 7.3%. Its domestic business recorded net sales of 12.1 trillion, a growth of 7.9% compared to the same time period last year. The domestic business also contributed to 85.4% to the company's total revenue. All right, you guys, so good. This is what I look for. Again, I can't stress this enough, and you hear me stress it almost every video. When it comes to Vietnam, I started seeing, look, we all know the rates are going to change. We know this. And how much people make from this, it's yet to be seen. We'll see what happens. I feel really confident about the Iraqi dinar, and I feel really confident about the Vietnam Dong. Whether it happens tomorrow or whether it happens a year from now, who knows? The truth is, we don't know. But once it does happen, I start looking for past everything that's going on. And Vietnam is one of those countries that I'm looking at long term. 5, 10, 15 years down the line. There's some mutual funds, and you hear me talk about them on StockWatch. If you haven't seen my StockWatch videos, please, I encourage you to go do so. There is an ETF, which is a mutual fund. It's the only one that I'm aware of that covers Vietnam. It covers a lot of different areas in Vietnam, and it's definitely something that I'm going to be getting into. So anyways, having said that, as usual, despite the corona, Vietnam has seen a lot of growth, and I keep showing you guys article after article as companies continue to report their earnings. This is just another one. Vinamilk. Vinamilk took us during the first quarter of 2020, despite the Rona. All right, you guys. So anyways, look, Vietnam is looking for new projects. They really want, again, I've been saying this for a long time as well, and that is they're looking to really expand. They really are, and they're looking for investors. So the Central Province has set a target of luring 20 domestic and foreign investor projects with a total investment capital of about 10 trillion Vietnam Dongs, which is equivalent to around 429.2 million US dollars by the end of the year. Top priorities will be given to Industries 4.0 areas, including IT. We talked about that. As a matter of fact, we talked about the fact that a lot of the IT firms have been moving out of smaller office spaces into bigger ones. Real estate is one of the biggest and fastest growing investments in Vietnam. Okay, as people move out of smaller office spaces, getting into bigger ones. So this is not surprising to me. High-tech farming, new material production, and biological technology. Following the province investment promotion plan in 2020 issued on Thursday by the Province People Committee. Okay, so this is, again, this is just Vietnam wanting to just spread their wings and fly and reach out to the international communities and grow even more. Like I said, I talked to a friend of mine. He was there, and he's been living there for many, many years. And so when me and him shoot the, you know what, he said, look, Pimpy, dude, like even 12 years ago, 16 years ago, the roads where I'm at didn't even have pavement. It was dirt. I mean, it looked like something from a Vietnam War movie. And I was like, yeah. He goes, now the roads are paved. There's skyscrapers. It looks absolutely gorgeous here. And this happened in a short period of time. All right, a short period of time. And like him, the same with me as well. We're anticipating a huge growth opportunity within Vietnam over the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so you can see here, look at Vietnam's continuing to reach out in different areas. Other fields in focus are agriculture processing, infrastructure development of economical and industrial zones. We just talked about this. Real estate, they need more buildings there. And non-tariff areas, processing and manufacturing, supporting industries, real estate, as well as tourism, healthcare, educational training, and others. And value chains of the South Asia and Asia Pacific areas. Okay, so look at further attentions will be paid, calling for investments from traditional markets such as South Korea, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, Hong Kong, US, Europa, countries benefiting from Vietnam's entry into bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements. Okay, this has been, I'm seeing more and more of this, whether you believe in the Nasera or the Jacera. We're seeing more and more people try to move closer to and moving into free trade. No more of this really trade agreements that not benefit smaller countries, okay? So as we talked about before, Vietnam is still not being a good big brother. Vietnam rejects China's statement on sovereignty over the Chungsa Islands. Okay, so basically China is saying, yeah, you know, I'm bigger than you, I could beat you up, and they want to take over this island, and Vietnam saying it ain't gonna happen. So Vietnam rejects all contents of the statement made by the Chinese spokesperson on sovereignty over the Chungsa or Spratly. Oh man, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. On November 8th, Vietnamese foreign minister spokesperson made the statement in response to reports questioned on Wednesday. The Chinese foreign minister last week during a regular press briefing said that Vietnam and other countries in the region engaged in so-called occupation of China, Nansha Islands, China's name to the Spratly Islands, over which Vietnam has full sovereignty. Yeah, China has been playing bully, and a lot of countries are starting to recognize this. As a matter of fact, Trump sent over 3 ships, 2 destroyers and 1 battleship in the so-called disputed oceans to make sure that China behaves themselves. And I heard somebody saying, well, China would be good against the United States in a war. No, they won't. Let me tell you why. China has 1 aircraft carrier. 1. We have 22. That would be ocean and air supremacy in a matter of a couple of days. Now, this is, of course, if you just, under the assumption that there won't be no nuclear bombs, okay? So anyways, look, China, again, not being a nice big brother. And again, there tends to be a lot of disputes. China had been doing ops in Vietnam, rolling up on their beach with rubber rafts to the point where it pissed off the president. He said if they did it again, even though he knew China could kill them all, he was willing to kamikaze China. He didn't care if he lost in a war. He said, I'm not tolerating it, and then dared them to go on his beach again. For the record, that was a few months ago, and since then they have not, okay? Because, you know, the president of the Philippines is what I was talking about. He's no joke, man. He's a very brutally honest guy, man. It's just it's funny to watch this guy talk. So what else is going on? This is good. Look at this. People, get out of the Rona situation. So before we get in that one, let's get to this one. So Vietnam records no Rona cases in the community for 23 days. So Vietnam reported on no new corona cases on May the 9th, making 23 straight days without any infections in the community, said the National Steering Committee. This is good. Look, not only did they have a great first quarter, but they're not dealing with any real Rona issues over there at the moment, which leads me back to this article. Tens of millions of students back to school after a long Corona break. Tens of millions of students from kindergarten up to high school nationwide return to school on May the 4th after 3 months closure to prevent the Rona. All right, you guys. So look, we need to do the same thing. Companies and businesses around the world are starting to open back up. I do expect to see a pretty good pump in the economy, but you know as well as I do that the one thing that could help get things rocking and rolling would be a rate change. All right, you guys, so we'll continue to watch out for this, but it seems to me like Vietnam is ready to run back into production at full force. The problem is, in one of the articles I did read, even though they are ready, a few of the countries that they export to are not ready, and it's preventing them from going full force. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this. Again, Vietnam's different. We know they're manipulating the currency. We know that as soon as we get done dealing with the Rona, that eventually Trump is going to turn his focus back to countries that are manipulating their currencies. I do anticipate that this is going to happen sometime this year. Right now, let's just get past what's going on with Iraq. Okay, let's get past the Rona. Let's get past the fact that our own government tried a failed attempted coup against our president. All right, let's get past all the little things, and then we'll focus on things that are important, like, currency manipulation. Anyways, like I said, you guys, Vietnam is a place that I'm looking to invest in long term. But as far as what's going on to Vietnam Dong, look, the better the economy does, the more valuable their currency becomes. They can't continue to manipulate this much longer. All right. So if you like the video, again, please like and share, and don't be shy. Subscribe because it helps out the channel, and let's keep this free. Unlike other people, I don't want to chase you into Patreon. There's no need to, as long as you guys keep helping me out by liking and subscribing. I surely do appreciate it, and you guys have a good one.